Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and I am super excited to be sitting here sharing my Disney College Program phone interview with you guys. Let me just say this to you guys, in my opinion, my phone interview was extremely terrible. Once I'm editing this video, I will definitely see if I have some old footage of my actual phone interview and see what clips I can use and maybe insert. However, if I sound or look like an awkward potato in the clips and nothing is usable, then I won't put it in here, but hopefully I can find something just so you can see like how awkward and how bad it is. No matter how embarrassing it is, I'll just suck it up. It was just extremely awkward and, I honestly felt like an awkward little potato, and the words were just not coming out of my mouth. I kept stuttering and just stumbling over every single word that I was trying to say. I just wanted everything to come out perfectly, and it didn't, so I just had really high expectations. When those expectations were not met, I was extremely upset. But anyway, let's just get right into it. I scheduled my phone interview on January 23rd, 2017. So it was a Friday and it was early in the morning. Someone's calling me. I scheduled it for around 10 o'clock in the morning, so it was pretty early. They say on the website that you should expect the call 15 minutes before and 15 minutes after the time that you scheduled. I wonder what time they do call. Do they really call 15 minutes before? Do they call the 15 minutes after? Do they call exactly at 10? It's finally 9:40, so. Yep. So being that I scheduled my interview on the first day applications came out, I had 4 days to prep before the interview itself. So I was going on YouTube and Google and searching all these blogs to see what kind of questions could come up, just so I could prepare myself. So the night before, Thursday, the night before the interview, one of my friends and I sat down and she pretended to be the recruiter, and she was just asking me all the questions that I had written out. And I just got so in my head, and I was just like, you know what, all these answers just sound so stupid, and I just didn't know how to form my answers in a way that I thought was Disney enough. So I just got really frustrated and I called in the night and I went to sleep, and then I woke up in the morning and I got ready. Another thing that's really important is to make sure for your phone interview that you are in a space that is really quiet and has really good reception. One of my academic advisors let me use his office for the interview, so I got there around 9 o'clock. So I set up my tripod and my camera because I was planning on filming. That was going to be my first video that I was going to upload on this channel. I really wanted to record my whole interview just because I know how helpful it was for me when I was doing my research and my prep work for it. So I said, yeah, I'll just record it, and it'll be great and it'll be the best thing ever. I was so confident before the interview. This was going to be the first time that a Disney representative was going to be talking to me, so I just wanted to put my best self out there and just really sell myself. So I was just extremely confident. So to pump myself up before the interview and get me into the whole Disney mindset, call now, Disney, go. Okay, go. Oh, snap. I was listening to the Princess and the Frog soundtrack and the Beauty and the Beast soundtrack and songs from The Little Mermaid, and I was just typing away on my computer, talking to my mom, and just whatever, and then the phone rang at around 9:55ish, and I remember it rang 3 times, and I just remember staring at the phone, and I was like, oh my god, this is happening, they're calling me, Disney wants to talk to me, and we're gonna do this interview. Oh my god, they're freaking calling. Hello? And I picked up the phone all super bubbly, and I was like, hi, this is Tatiana. And she was like, oh hi, I'm Tammy. And I didn't hear her name at first, I thought it was something else. So I was like, Tammy? And she was like, yeah, it's Tammy. And I was like, okay. So I wrote that down. So I wrote down her name because it's really important to remember the recruiter's name, because at the end of the interview, you can just thank them for their time, and you know, it just leaves like a good impression on them. So after a little introduction, she went straight into the interview, and she just was like repeating all the information that I had put on my application, making sure that it was right, making sure that my university was right, my major was correct. She also wanted to make sure that the program that I was applying for was Fall Advantage, which it was. So then we just like went on into like the question part of the interview, and basically she was just asking me a lot about my work experience and just relating my work experience to like Disney situations and stuff like that. There was this one question that got me, and it wasn't even that it was a hard question to answer, it was just the words just did not come out of my mouth. Like my brain just went blank and I could not figure out the word. She wanted me to describe a situation that a customer was unhappy and how did I go about fixing that. So she had me use the work experience from my old theater job to answer that question. Going into the interview, I was really prepared for like more retail style questions instead of like the theater questions, like the usher position that I held. So when she asked me that, it kind of like threw me for a little loop, and I was like, okay, well, I can come up with something. And there was like situations that were difficult. So I told her that there was this one time that a guest came in and they had an obstructed view. But the word obstructed did not come out of my mouth, and I literally just paused. There was like a moment of silence, and I was like, what's the word? And then she like helped me out, and she was like, a blocked view? And I was like, yes, a blocked view, but I was like kind of upset because that's not the word that I wanted to use. I wanted the word obstructed. So I was like, yeah, they had a blocked view, and you know, we just moved their seats and accommodated them in like the best way that we could, and we gave them free merchandise, yada yada yada, and you know, by the end of the night they were happy. So she just said, okay, and that was her answer for literally everything. Okay, okay, okay. And I was like, you're not giving me much to like work with, to play with, like you're not making me feel comfortable. I've heard so many stories of people having these interviews and the recruiters are like their best friends, like they're laughing along the whole interview and they're just joking and having a great old time. But honestly, my recruiter and I did not have like that good of a connection, like it just wasn't there. So it was just like very monotone and very just like rapid fire, question, question, question. So then the whole interview was like kind of going by really quickly, and I kind of realized that she didn't really ask me about my top role, which was character performer or anything revolving entertainment. So she then asked me towards the end what two roles I felt more comfortable in and like what I felt I would do best at. And I told her either character performer or merchandise. Character performer being that I have a ton of performance experience, and then obviously merchandise, I have a lot of retail experience. I just felt like those two would be the ones that I would excel at the most and just enjoy the most. So after I told her about character performer, she made sure that I knew about the audition, and I was like, girl, I got it. I already know. Everything is set for that. Like, don't even try it. So, yeah, that was pretty much it. And then she asked me like a couple more questions. So at the very end, she asked me if I had any questions for her, and I asked her two. I asked her one about extension, which I don't even know why I asked her about like extensions and stuff like that, because I wasn't even in the program yet. I hadn't even gotten accepted yet, and I was already thinking about staying longer than I was supposed to. And then I asked her about when registration for classes would come out and like how that whole thing works, because I do need to take a class for my university to consider me a full-time student. So those are the questions I had. I definitely recommend you having at least one or two questions, not the same questions I had, maybe even better ones. You know, I wish I would have asked her if she did the program herself, and like just something so they see that you're interested in the program. So yeah, I mean, at the end, she was like, okay, well, if that's all that you have, like, we're done, that's all we need. And I just thanked her so much for like taking the time. I was like, thank you, Tammy, so much for taking the time to talk to me, and I apologize for being nervous so many times. You know, I just thanked her again, and that was pretty much it. And she like laughed finally. She finally laughed. She told me I did fine, and that was pretty much it. And then I told her to have a nice day, and she was like, you have a magical day, Tatiana. And that was it. So after I hung up the phone, I just sat there in my advisor's office, just stunned. I just like, did that even happen? Like, it was terrible. And I was just like, what even came out of my mouth. Like, I just forgot everything that I said, and I just felt like I made a fool out of myself. I just felt like my answers were not strong enough. I felt like I could have done such a better job. And, you know, the stuttering really, really got to me, and I was like, I stuttered the whole entire time, and, you know, she probably didn't understand a word that I was saying. And after that, like, after all these thoughts, like, rushed into my head, I just started crying. Then I called my mom, and I just told her, I was like, I blew it. Like, I blew my chance, and I was like, you know what, like, I have to accept the fact that I have to apply next season or next fall, just because, like, I know I'm not gonna get it this time. Like, there's no way that they would want me after this. So my confidence level went from here to, like, down to the floor, basically. Like, I was not happy at all. And then, you know, 2 months later, I got my acceptance. So no matter how terrible your phone interview may be, don't give up and don't be discouraged. They do expect you to be nervous. They do expect you to stutter. Like, they don't want someone that's perfect. They just want someone who's enthusiastic and who really, really wants to work for the company. So yeah, that was pretty much it. That was my terrible phone interview story. And, you know, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from me. Take your time when you're speaking. And, you know, just be really calm and collected and cool and chill so you can just enjoy the experience. So once again, guys, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, thank you so, so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!